Discipline is not something we are born with, it is a conscious choice we make daily. It is a decision to align our actions with our goals, even when the path is difficult or inconvenient. Discipline often separates those who achieve great things from those who fall short, not because the former group has more talent or opportunities, but because they consistently choose to do what is necessary rather than what is easy. At its core, discipline is about exercising control over your impulses and focusing on what truly matters. In our fast-paced world, distractions are everywhere. Social media, endless entertainment, and the temptation of instant gratification make it easy to lose sight of what is important. Choosing discipline means prioritizing long-term growth over short-term pleasure. It means recognizing that the immediate satisfaction of avoiding a task or indulging in a fleeting desire often comes at the expense of our larger aspirations. Making the choice to be disciplined requires clarity. You must understand what you want to achieve and why it matters. Without a clear purpose, discipline can feel like a burden, a list of restrictions that weigh you down. But when you have a compelling reason to persevere, whether it's to build a career, strengthen relationships, improve your health, or create a meaningful legacy, discipline becomes an act of self-respect and empowerment. It is no longer about denying yourself pleasures, but about honoring your commitments to yourself and your vision for the future. This choice is not always easy. Discipline often requires sacrifices. It may mean waking up early when you'd rather sleep in, saying no to a night out to focus on a project, or stepping out of your comfort zone to learn something new. These sacrifices can feel daunting in the moment, but they pay dividends over time. Each discipline choice strengthens your willpower and builds momentum. Over time, what starts as a deliberate effort becomes a habit, and habits shape your identity. You begin to see yourself as someone who follows through, who takes action, and who refuses to settle for mediocrity. However, it's important to acknowledge that choosing discipline is not about perfection. It is not about never making mistakes or always getting it right. Discipline is about resilience, choosing to get back on track after a misstep, learning from setbacks, and continuing to move forward. The path of discipline is rarely a straight line, but the commitment to keep going is what makes the difference. Choosing discipline also has a ripple effect. It inspires others. When people see you consistently working toward your goals, showing up even when it's hard, and staying true to your values, they are encouraged to do the same. Discipline creates a culture of accountability and progress, whether in a family, a team, or an organization. In the end, discipline is the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. It is the choice to act with intention, to prioritize what truly matters, and to take ownership of your life. The beauty of discipline is that it empowers you to shape your future, one choice at a time. Every moment presents an opportunity to choose discipline, to align your actions with your aspirations, and to step closer to the life you envision. Discipline is often misunderstood as sheer willpower or the ability to follow rigid rules, but its true foundation lies in purpose. When you understand your why, discipline transforms from a burden into a meaningful tool that propels you forward. Purpose is the fuel that keeps the fire of discipline burning, even when challenges arise or motivation fades. At its heart, purpose provides clarity. It helps you see the bigger picture, reminding you why you started and where you want to go. When you have a clear sense of purpose, every action you take gains significance. Waking up early to study or spending hours perfecting a craft no longer feels like a chore, but a step towards something that truly matters to you. Purpose gives meaning to the effort, making discipline feel less like sacrifice and more like investment. Without purpose, discipline becomes hollow and unsustainable. It's easy to lose momentum when the reason behind your actions isn't clear. Imagine trying to stick to a fitness regimen without knowing why it matters to you. You might follow the plan for a few days, but without a deeper reason, whether it's improving your health, gaining confidence, or being there for your loved ones, it's hard to maintain the effort. Purpose acts as a compass, keeping you oriented even when the path is challenging or unclear. Purpose also creates resilience. Life is full of setbacks and distractions, and discipline alone may falter in the face of adversity. Purpose, however, gives you the strength to persevere. When you're deeply connected to your why, obstacles become smaller in comparison to your vision. You begin to see failures not as reasons to quit, but as lessons that bring you closer to success. Moreover, purpose shapes priorities. In a world where there are endless demands on your time and attention, purpose helps you focus on what truly matters. It allows you to say no to distractions and yes to actions that align with your goals. This alignment makes discipline less about deprivation and more about choice. For instance, choosing to work late on a project might feel exhausting, but if the project is tied to your purpose, it feels worthwhile. Purpose also ignites passion, and passion makes discipline easier to sustain. When you're driven by something you deeply care about, the work becomes more enjoyable and the effort feels less draining. Passion doesn't eliminate the need for discipline, but complements it, making the journey more rewarding. For discipline to thrive, your purpose must be authentic and deeply personal. It cannot be imposed by others or borrowed from societal expectations. True purpose comes from within, reflecting your values, aspirations, and unique perspective. When discipline is rooted in an authentic purpose, it feels less like a struggle and more like a natural extension of who you are. In the end, purpose is what makes discipline meaningful. It turns routine tasks into stepping stones toward a greater vision. It keeps you grounded during tough times and focused during moments of doubt. Discipline without purpose is mechanical, but discipline fueled by purpose is transformative. It empowers you to achieve your goals, honor your commitments, and live a life that reflects your deepest values. Purpose is not just the fuel for discipline, it is its very heart. Leadership is often associated with vision, charisma, and the ability to inspire others, but none of these traits can stand alone without discipline. Discipline is the foundation of leadership because it provides the consistency, accountability, and integrity required to lead effectively. A leader's discipline sets the standard for their actions and becomes a model for those they guide. At its core, discipline in leadership means doing what needs to be done, even when it is difficult, inconvenient, or unnoticed. A disciplined leader follows through on commitments, demonstrates reliability, and upholds their values regardless of circumstances. This consistency fosters trust. People are far more likely to follow a leader who consistently practices what they preach than one who is erratic or unreliable. Trust is not built on grand gestures, it is built on small, disciplined actions repeated over time. Discipline also enables leaders to focus on long-term goals rather than being swayed by short-term pressures or distractions. Leadership often involves making tough decisions that may not yield immediate results but are necessary for sustained success. A disciplined leader resists the temptation to take shortcuts or succumb to the pressure of quick fixes. Instead, they remain committed to their vision, ensuring that their actions align with their broader purpose and the needs of their team or organization. Furthermore, discipline equips leaders to navigate challenges with resilience and clarity. Leadership is rarely smooth. It comes with setbacks, uncertainty, and moments of doubt. A disciplined leader is better prepared to weather these storms because they have built the habit of perseverance. They do not panic or abandon their principles when things get tough. Instead, they draw on their disciplined mindset to adapt and find solutions. This steadiness reassures those who look to them for guidance, fostering a sense of stability even in turbulent times. Discipline in leadership is not limited to professional responsibilities, it extends to personal habits and behaviors. Leaders who prioritize self-discipline in areas like time management, continuous learning, and self-care set an example for their teams. They demonstrate that leadership is not about authority but about self-mastery. By holding themselves to high standards, they inspire those around them to do the same. Another critical aspect of discipline in leadership is accountability. A disciplined leader takes ownership of their actions and decisions, admitting mistakes when they occur and working to correct them. This accountability builds respect and credibility. It shows that the leader values integrity over ego and is committed to the success of the team or organization as a whole. Discipline also fosters fairness and equity in leadership. A leader who is disciplined in their decision-making ensures that choices are made objectively and consistently, rather than based on favoritism or emotion. This fairness strengthens the leader's relationship with their team, creating an environment of trust and mutual respect. Ultimately, discipline transforms leadership from a position of power to a practice of service. It ensures that a leader's actions are guided by principles, not whims, and that their focus remains on the well-being and development of those they lead. While talent, vision, and charisma are valuable qualities, it is discipline that sustains and amplifies their impact. A leader's discipline is the bedrock upon which their influence is built, creating the foundation for trust, respect, and lasting success. In a world that often glorifies perfection, it's easy to fall into the trap of believing that every step we take must be flawless. But this pursuit of perfection can be paralyzing, holding us back from taking action or making meaningful progress. True growth, whether in personal development, relationships, or professional endeavors, lies not in achieving perfection, but in embracing progress. Progress over perfection is a mindset that values consistent effort and improvement over an unattainable ideal. Perfection is often an illusion. It suggests a state of flawlessness that in reality is neither achievable nor sustainable. The pursuit of perfection can lead to procrastination as we wait for the perfect conditions, resources, or abilities before starting something. It can also breed fear of failure, judgment, or not measuring up. This fear stifles creativity, innovation, and growth, preventing us from taking the risks necessary to learn and evolve. On the other hand, progress focuses on movement. It acknowledges that improvement is a journey, not a destination. When we prioritize progress, we allow ourselves to take imperfect steps forward, understanding that each step brings us closer to our goals. Progress is about learning through action, making adjustments along the way, and celebrating small wins that build momentum. One of the greatest strengths of focusing on progress is the resilience it fosters. When perfection is the goal, failure feels devastating because it represents falling short of an ideal. But when progress is the goal, failure becomes a valuable teacher. It provides insights, highlights areas for growth, and propels us forward. This shift in perspective transforms challenges and setbacks from roadblocks into stepping stones. Progress over perfection also cultivates a healthier relationship with ourselves and others. Perfectionism often leads to self-criticism as we set impossibly high standards and berate ourselves for not meeting them. This negativity can spill over into how we view others, fostering unrealistic expectations and strained relationships. When we focus on progress, we become more compassionate. We recognize that growth is a process, and we extend grace not only to ourselves, but also to those around us. In practice, choosing progress over perfection means setting realistic and incremental goals. Instead of aiming for a flawless outcome, we break tasks into manageable steps and focus on completing them one at a time. It's about asking, what can I do today to move closer to my goal, rather than obsessing over the gap between where we are and where we want to be. This mindset shift also encourages experimentation and creativity. When perfection is the standard, there's little room for risk-taking or exploring new ideas. Progress, however, thrives on curiosity and adaptability. It invites us to try, learn, and iterate, knowing that each attempt adds to our understanding and capability. Ultimately, progress over perfection is about prioritizing growth over image. It's about valuing effort and resilience more than a polished result. This approach not only leads to better outcomes, but also enriches our experience along the way. Life is not a competition to see who can achieve perfection. It's an opportunity to grow, connect, and contribute. By embracing progress, we free ourselves to explore our potential fully and live more authentically. Progress reminds us that each day is a chance to be better than we were yesterday, and that is enough. Developing discipline is a gradual and deliberate process that requires consistent effort and self-awareness. While it may seem daunting at first, discipline is not an innate trait reserved for a select few. It is a skill that anyone can cultivate with the right mindset and practical strategies. By taking small, intentional steps and committing to steady improvement, you can build the discipline needed to achieve your goals and live a more purposeful life. The first step to developing discipline is starting small. Many people make the mistake of attempting drastic changes overnight, only to find the effort unsustainable. Instead, begin with a single manageable habit that aligns with your goals. For instance, if you want to improve your health, start with a daily 10-minute walk rather than an intense workout regimen. Small wins build confidence and create momentum, making it easier to expand your efforts over time. Equally important is setting clear, specific goals. Vague aspirations, such as I want to be healthier or I want to be more productive, lack direction. Break your goals into actionable steps with measurable outcomes. A clear roadmap provides focus and helps you stay on track. For example, if your goal is to write a book, commit to writing 500 words a day or dedicating 1 hour each morning to writing. Clear goals turn abstract desires into tangible actions. Accountability is another powerful tool in developing discipline. Share your goals with a trusted friend, mentor, or accountability partner who can encourage you and hold you to your commitments. Regular check-ins provide motivation and a sense of responsibility. Even self-accountability, such as tracking your progress in a journal or app, can reinforce your dedication. The act of recording your efforts makes your progress visible, giving you a sense of achievement and motivating you to continue. Discipline also thrives on routine. Establishing consistent habits helps automate your actions, reducing the need for willpower. For example, if you aim to exercise regularly, schedule your workouts at the same time each day. Over time, this repetition becomes a natural part of your routine, making it easier to maintain your commitment. Routines eliminate decision fatigue by creating structure, allowing you to focus your energy on execution rather than deliberation. Equally vital is learning to manage distractions. In today's world, countless demands compete for our attention, making discipline harder to sustain. Identify your biggest distractions, whether it's social media, unnecessary notifications, or in an unorganized workspace, and take proactive steps to minimize them. Create an environment conducive to focus and set boundaries to protect your time and energy. Practicing self-compassion is crucial in the journey to develop discipline. No one is perfect, and setbacks are inevitable. Rather than being overly critical of yourself when you falter, view mistakes as opportunities to learn and grow. Reflect on what went wrong, adjust your approach, and recommit to your goals. Discipline is not about never failing, it's about getting back on track after failure. Finally, celebrate progress, no matter how small. Acknowledging your achievements reinforces positive behavior and boosts your motivation to keep going. Whether it's a simple acknowledgement of your effort or a reward for reaching a milestone, celebrating progress makes the journey enjoyable and fulfilling. By starting small, setting clear goals, building accountability, establishing routines, managing distractions, practicing self-compassion, and celebrating progress, you can develop discipline as a lasting skill. Discipline is not about perfection, but about showing up consistently and committing to growth, one step at a time. Discipline is often perceived as an innate quality, something that some people are simply born with. However, this view overlooks a fundamental truth: discipline is a learned skill, not an inherent trait. Like any other skill, it can be developed, refined, and strengthened over time through practice and intentional effort. Understanding discipline as a learned skill empowers us to take control of our lives and work toward the goals that matter most to us. The first step in learning discipline is recognizing that it begins with choice. Discipline is not about external rules or obligations imposed on us, it is about internal decisions. Each day presents countless opportunities to practice discipline through the choices we make. Whether it's deciding to get up early, complete a task on time, or resist a temptation, every small decision is a chance to strengthen our self-control. These choices, while seemingly minor, compound over time and shape our ability to stay disciplined in more significant areas of life. Like any skill, learning discipline requires commitment and repetition. When you first attempt to develop a disciplined habit, it may feel difficult or unnatural. This is because your brain and behavior are not yet accustomed to the new routine. Over time, however, consistent practice creates neural pathways that make the behavior easier and more automatic. The more you practice discipline, the more natural it becomes, turning effort into habit. A critical part of learning discipline is setting realistic and achievable goals. Starting too ambitiously can lead to frustration and burnout. Instead, focus on small, incremental improvements that build confidence and momentum. For example, if you want to improve your focus, begin by dedicating 10 minutes a day to uninterrupted work and gradually increase the duration. These manageable steps create a sense of accomplishment, encouraging you to keep going. Self-awareness is another key element of learning discipline. To improve, you must first understand your strengths, weaknesses, and triggers. Reflect on the situations where you struggle to stay disciplined. Is it when you're tired, overwhelmed, or distracted? By identifying these patterns, you can develop strategies to address them. For instance, if distractions are a major obstacle, you can create a more focused environment by turning off notifications or setting specific work hours. Discipline is also deeply tied to motivation. While motivation may waver, having a clear sense of purpose helps anchor your efforts. Knowing why you want to be disciplined provides the emotional fuel to keep going, even when it's challenging. Connect your actions to your larger goals and values. For example, reminding yourself that exercising regularly contributes to your long-term health can help you stay committed to a fitness routine. Learning discipline also involves embracing setbacks as part of the process. Mistakes and failures are inevitable, but they are not indicators of inadequacy. Instead, they are opportunities to learn and grow. Each time you falter, reflect on what went wrong, adjust your approach, and recommit to your goals. Overcoming setbacks strengthens your resilience and reinforces the habit of persistence. Finally, patience is essential when learning discipline. Building any skill takes time, and discipline is no exception. Celebrate small victories along the way to keep your motivation high and remind yourself that progress is being made. Discipline is not reserved for a select few. It is a skill accessible to anyone willing to put in the effort. By practicing consistently, setting achievable goals, cultivating self-awareness, and staying connected to your purpose, you can learn and master the art of discipline, unlocking your full potential in the process.